Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR 25 career mode here in the final season in that push towards NASCAR 26, which, crazy to think, it's like probably, 2 months maximum away at this point? I mean, we are in the final, you could almost say, 60 or so days before the release of this game. Now, if you've noticed, there's not been any videos for a few days, and, I mean, yeah, I've pretty well done nothing for the last handful of days at this point now, and yeah, I mean, I found this trick that has made NASCAR 25 a lot more enjoyable, and this episode's a great example of that, and that was, I took a break. I was really, in the last week or so, struggling with motivation on everything, to be completely honest, and I feel like I was starting to experience a little bit of burnout because we've got, 3 career modes going, and I thought it was really fun, and then I'm realizing, oh my god, it gets really, really strenuous doing 3 different career modes at once and whatnot. So I definitely had a shift of motivation, and it went in the wrong direction. And I'm hoping, I will be completely transparent. You're going to see some changes here in the next week on this channel in terms of the content. NASCAR 25 career mode is not going anywhere for the record, but there's definitely going to be some changes in the regard of what I am posting. I think, put too much on my plate, and that was a really silly move. So, yeah, I do apologize for that. I'll explain it more in detail on streams and whatnot going forward. But, yeah, I mean, as we come through into Darlington qualifying, we really exceeded expectations and qualified 7th, and this is only going to be a 1-race episode here today because this is a really, really, really good race that I wanted you guys to be able to see, and I kind of wanted to spread this race out a little bit more. You can kind of watch it play out. But Kyle Larson, he's on pole position here this weekend in Darlington for the Goodyear 400, and I was feeling like I was going to have a good opportunity to get up in the mix to win this race today. We completely threw a win away last episode in Miami. That was embarrassing, and really just looking to bounce back from that and say, hey, we can still get the job done. I'm already thinking about the regular season championship, of course, and the ability of making, the chase as one of the top seeds, which is not something we did last year. Now, as we are ready to fire the engines here, we got the Domino's number 15 Chevrolet ready to kick off here now as Kyle Larson is set to lead the field to green. Let's go racing from the Goodyear 400. 22 laps of racing in this opening stage, meaning a pit stop will be necessary at some point later on, of course, now. And we have made a lot of changes here. I mean, I've made, first of all, the change of me simply taking a break. I came back into this race, and I had more fun in this race than I've had in probably a few months playing NASCAR 25. It was a much-needed break. On top of that, we have also kind of made some adjustments with the AI, and one of the biggest changes I made was turning the AI incident frequency to a lower number. Now, this is not something new for this episode. This is something I did recently, but I have really found, as I cracked the wall in turn 1 like an idiot, getting my Darlington stripe on just lap 2, but I really found turning the AI incident frequency down has really, really made these races a lot better. It's even allowed strategies to play out as well, which was something we were kind of lacking before because we were always having, in the final stage, for example, you would have 2 or 3 crashes and, restarts and whatnot. Now, the accidents are only happening a couple times a race, which makes sense for a 25% race, and it allows, like I said, especially in Stage 3, but even in Stage 1 and 2, it definitely allows some more strategies to play out, and it seems like it's actually, in return, turn this into a little bit less predictable of a running order, at least for the wins. You still have the same guys running up front. That's something you're never going to change with this game. That's obviously a NASCAR 26 thing, but we definitely have the option now to where it seems like more winners are kind of being presented because of the different strategies and whatnot, and times of pitting and the tires, the difference of tires by pitting a lap earlier than somebody else, stuff like that. It's really actually starting to spice up these races. So I'm a big fan of kind of what we've kind of stumbled upon here in recent times. Right now you got the number 11 out front now as well. There's our first crash of the day. Ryan Blaney goes around off the nose of us. Caution is out for the first time today. That eliminates green flag pit stops here in stage 1. We'll come in for 4 tires as well as some fuel, and we are going to lower the tire pressures to 17.5 because obviously we did fall back here in these opening laps of this race, and that was not, of course, ideal, as we'll return to the racing action now from about midway in this opening stage here now, as we've got 10 more laps to go from this stage 1 in this Goodyear 400, following the number 23 of Bubba Wallace down into turn number 1 here now. And I mean, just again, being on the outside for restarts not where I prefer to be, as they all catch the wall right there on the exit of turn 2 just in front of me now. But just trying to stay patient. I'm confident we are going to have a car very capable of, you know, going up for the win here this weekend in Darlington and making up for the complete fumbles I made in Miami. Now, I mean, I say fumbles, but at the end of the day, it was Chris Buescher had a tire advantage and he was running us down, and it made sense as to why we lost that race in the final corner now, as Christopher Bell actually takes the lead on the exit of turn 2 now, as Kyle Busch looks to my inside down the back straightaway here, and we'll get in line behind him, and Chastain actually now is going to look to my inside here as we roll through turn 3. You might notice a very slight audio delay as well. I started recording with a new program. Instead of Streamlabs, I'm now using OBS. However, there's a very slight audio delay, which I'm going to hopefully have fixed going into the next video on the channel. So do forgive me. It's so slight you barely even notice it, but it is there. So yeah, do forgive me for that now, as we have dropped all the way down to 17th place here on these final couple of laps now, and Ryan Blaney would be the next one to come through in that beautiful Menards throwback paint scheme now, as the 11 has returned to the lead of this race now, as we head down this back straightaway side by side with the 12. You got the one of Chastain there just in front now, and behind us you got the 43 as well, having a good run now up inside the top 20, is Ryan Blaney making some solid headway here through this field as we exit turn 4. I mean, as we come to just a few laps to go in the stage, Blaney had now passed Chastain. He had passed the 16 of Allmendinger and was looking to the inside of the 2 of Cindric for the pass as well. But then I start making these passes as well, and in these closing laps, definitely starting to see a shift of momentum go into my favor, because now we pass the 2, and we've actually run back down Ryan Blaney by the final lap of stage 1 here, and now to the inside of Keselowski down this back straightaway here, as we'll head down towards turn 3, peek the nose to the inside of the 12. I don't think we'll get Blaney, but we should get Keselowski. And meanwhile, for the stage out of turn 4, it's the number 11, of course, Corey Heim in this timeline that wins stage number 1, as we end up in 14th place here in this opening stage. So no stage points, and that's been something we have been really focused on, is stage points, because if you are going to be fighting for the championship, or if you're going to be fighting in this regular season for the regular season championship, you need to be scoring stage points, and unfortunately we did not do so right there. So stage 2, we're going to really have to kind of make up for it now, and I am hopeful it stays green here, because that will present some opportunities now as we kick things back off from stage 2. 23 laps of racing now as we head down into turn number 1 now, and it's the 11, the 45, the 20, all up there on the conversation in the top 3. A lot of Toyota representation, I guess accurate to IRL, you could say, now as we head down into turn number 3 now, and actually did catch the wall a little bit on the exit of turn 2, which is what slowed my momentum down as we look to the inside of the 6 here of Keselowski as we exit turn 4 down the front straightaway now. Lap 2 of 23 here as we head down into turn 1, re-cleared by that Castrol 6. Another beautiful paint scheme as well on that 6. It would continue to actually go forward here over the next few laps. Coming to lap 5 of the stage now, as we were looking to the inside of the 23 of Bubba Wallace. Got the 24 now out front. Not sure how long Byron's going to last out there, as I do a bit of a slide job on the 23 of Bubba Wallace to move through into the 14th position as we'll head down this front straightaway. So we continue to work our way forward though, and you know, didn't really make many adjustments. We made those adjustments on the first caution, however didn't touch it at the end of stage 1, and we're continuing to roll forward now, passing the 48 here of Corey Day as we head down into turn number 3.
Outside now.
So really good progress being made here now, and starting to build that confidence now as we exit turn 4. We'll clear that 48, a bit of contact on the back of the 6, but then immediately, you know, fighting alongside the 6 of Keselowski and into turn 3. I have a gap to slide up in front of him here on lap 9, so now up into 12th. Then Joey Logano's next. We're going to pass him. through turns 1 and 2. Lap 10 right against the front fender of him there, and we'll pass him down into turn 3. Can't quite jump up in front because the 19's right here, but we do clear him on the exit of turn 4. But we're already closing in on pit stops here now, and as we come through to lap 11 to the inside of the 19 of Chase Briscoe, he's not going to make it easy as we exit turn 2 and head down this back straightaway. Bell back out in front in the number 20 now as we get the call from our crew chief to pit right now for 4 tires, and I was on board with this one. I said, okay, let's come in early. They're battling up there for the lead. We're not too far behind. We're going to come in, we'll get our 4 tires and fuel, and I think this is going to be a good strategy here because it's going to give us an opportunity to now run, quite a bit quicker with the tire advantage over the next 2 to 3 laps or so while all the other drivers start to head into the pit lane. And pit road, it was flooded immediately after I had left, but just that 1 lap difference is going to be a major difference here now, as we were already in front of the 19 of Briscoe, passing the 17 of Busher here, and as we'll continue on the track, Blaney's just now coming in a couple laps later. He's going to be way behind, and we might be leading by the time this cycles through. If I'm not mistaken, I think it will happen. As we continue to try and hold off this 19 to Chase Briscoe now, I don't think it's going to be too hard. I felt like we were faster than Briscoe already. As we come through to now pass the 45, this is not for the lead yet. That was just to unlap ourselves. But as we'll come back around, you see we passed the 24 right there. William Byron, he was leading the race when we pitted. So that tells me we are going to be P1. One more lap around, we cycle out to the lead of this race. So Briscoe right now is in second. Chase Elliott is in third position. And we've got a little less than 10 laps to go here in stage 2, and this is one of the beautiful things about NASCAR 25 is Chase Elliott's moved up in a second, but when you're running on 4X wear, the tire difference, coming in a few laps earlier, that's Busher in second, sorry, that is not Chase Elliott. But the tire difference is so much fun to mess around with because we come in, 2-3 laps earlier and we gain a ton of time. But then, of course, we pay the price on the backside of the run where the AI are then running us down. Speaking of that, William Byron has passed Busher and is running me down. But unfortunately for him, and very fortunate for me, we're running out of time very quickly because Byron has cut the gap down to 1 second. But we're coming through to the final lap of stage 2. And now I know I'm in a pretty comfortable position here to maintain this stage victory. So as we head down this back straightaway one more time, Byron's still hovering about 1 second back. Kyle Larson's working his way forward as well. Busher's going to hang on for third as we do clip the outside wall. No harm done though. The gap comes down to 9/10 of a second, but we hang on for the stage 2 victory, and this sets us up very well for stage 3. And what did we learn right there? That short pitting strategy is very much a viable option going into this final stage if it does stay green. So I didn't want to make really any adjustments again. I was very happy with how the car was driving. The balance felt really good, so I decided to kind of keep it at what it is. Larson gains a spot over Busher as well. A few other kind of position changes throughout the top 10 as here we go. The third and final stage is back underway here from Darlington now. Lap 46 of 73, 17 laps of fuel. The thing I want to do immediately is clear the 24 of William Byron, and then hopefully we clear him, we can take off, and we can go dominate this stage. We are here to make up for what we gave up in Miami on the final corner as we head down into turn 3, dead even with the 24. We're going to send it into the corner, clear him up the racetrack now, but here comes Kyle Larson to the inside, and the Kellogg's Terry Labonte throwback now, and through goes the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet, and I completely choked that one as through goes the 11, the 45 as well. I think I said earlier the 11 was Corey Heim in this timeline. What an idiot. That's Tyler Reddick, of course. Of course, Heim took over the 45 in our little timeline, of course, which is literally just Photoshop, but it does work as we continue on into turn number 3 now, and Kyle Larson out in front here now as we exit turn 4, and as we come through to lap 48 of 73. I mean, we are losing time. Look at behind us in our mirror. They are 3 wide, by the way. But we are losing time every lap that we're behind these guys right now. But I still am not too worried because I feel like we've got good long run speed. And right now we're also showing some very competitive short run speed, as well as the 5 and the 45 of Heim continue to scrap it out for the lead. Meanwhile, I'm trying to pass the 11 of Reddick as we're coming up on the final 20 laps of racing here from Darlington now. So time is running out. We got pit stops on the way now. We got to make sure we're pitting within 17 laps to go, of course, if we're going to make it on field. So that's another thing now. We can't pit yet. We got to wait till about another handful of laps, of course, before we come into the pits. Kind of like 56, 57 would be kind of the area that I'm aiming for now, unless my crew chief decides to call me in at any point. We will definitely come in, but I mean, my problem now was getting stuck trying to pass this 11. They're having a great battle for the lead, and we're having a great battle for third right here now, and this is just a lot of fun to come back to now after my break and get to race with this AI. I always say the AI is far from perfect in NASCAR 25, but they're at such a great baseline that it is a lot of fun to race against them now as we continue out of turn 2 and really trying to complete that pass. Couldn't quite pull it off on the exit of turn 2. See a little bit of frustration on me because I realize I'm running out of time. We're coming to 20 laps to go in this race, and we're watching the 45 and the 5 start to open up a gap. So I know I need to complete the pass on this 11, but it's just all about timing, and I haven't been timing it right. Timing has not been in my favor. And as we exit turn 2 again, lap 55, now we're closing in on the pit window, but we are right on the back of the 11, but just wasn't in a position. If you're going to slide jump into turn 3, you have to be alongside them, and we weren't. So out of turn 4, making again a move to the inside, but this is just going to be a big nothing burger as here comes the 24 behind us. So now William Byron is starting to put some pressure on us, which is telling me we really need to get going here come lap 56, and they are still scrapping it out for the lead, having an absolutely fantastic battle up there now as we come to the tail end of lap 56. And at this point, I'm just kind of waiting for the call. There's the call right there. The crew chief calls me in. We're going to pit right here on lap 56, coming to 57. Oh my goodness, have we completely choked? Oh my goodness. We're going to barely get it into the pits. That was hilarious. We get in. It's going to be a 16 or so second pit stop, maybe a 15.9, no, 16.0. So we'll get back on the track. It was a 4-tire stop, a very straightforward. You need 4 tires for this run here to the end of Darlington. But again, we're the first one to pit, and everyone else is about to start flooding into the pit lane over the next 1 to 2 to 3 laps. And every lap that the 5 and the 45 stay out longer is going to be a benefit to me. Here comes the 9, Chase Elliott exiting. We're going to be well in front of him. He's not really someone I'm worried about, but the 45 is staying out an additional lap. So the 45 is going to do at least 2 additional laps compared to myself, which is going to hurt him, and it's really going to help me because the 45 is going to be losing track position to others, and as well the 5 of Kyle Larson, I would expect, is going to be giving up a little bit of time. Now, he pitted already, but still, he pitted just a little bit later than some other guys. So the 45 eventually comes in. There's Larson. We passed the 5. So I already know I'm going to be leading this race, and this is going to make things really compelling here now because Chase Elliott's behind us. The 43 of Eric Jones has got like the entire field a lap down, and then he eventually comes into the pit. So right now we're P2, and we will be leading next time around at lap 73. We take the lead, and the 45 is not even in the top 5. This is going to get really, really interesting here in these closing laps now because we have got Larson 2.8 seconds back with a few lap fresher tires trying to run me down, and he is condensing that gap. 2.4 seconds. Blaney in 4th, Bell in 5th. Not really worried about them. They don't have the speed to get here. Where is the 45? He seems to be nowhere to be found so far with 10 coming to 9 laps to go. Larson still 2.4, now 2.3 seconds back. There's the 45, 4.3 seconds back, and he is flying. Look at that gap coming down. Actually, I opened up the gap on the exit of turn 4, but he also passes the 20. So into 4th, and in the next few laps, it cuts the gap down to 3 seconds. So here you're seeing the whole tire difference really start to come into factor because the 45's coming. Less than 3 seconds now between us on lap 67 of 73. 2.8, it is just coming down 10th after 10th after 10th. 2.7 seconds. Now Larson 2 seconds behind. He might get to the 9 of Elliott, but I don't think Larson's going to get here. The 45 is going to be all over him. And sure enough, lap 68, the 45 passes Kyle Larson. Now 1.9 seconds back. He is flying. Will we hang on? As I expect Chase Elliott to give up second, and then it's going to be game on. 5 laps to go, and as well, we're close on fuel. We only have 5 laps of fuel, and the 45 is through to P2 against Chase Elliott. 1.5 seconds the gap now, and we're going to have 4 laps to go at the line. This is going to come down to the wire, folks, as we approach lap 70 in this race now. And as we come to lap 70, my crew chief saying, come into the pits. We're not going to do that, obviously, but now the gap down to 1 second flat as we head down into turn number 3. The fuel is super close. The tires are hanging on, but we know every extra lap we run, that difference between me and the 45 should get a little bit closer. 9/10 of a second. He did not gain a whole lot right there as we head down into turn 1. Now 8/10 of a second. Still 3 laps of fuel. I think we will make it to the end on gas, but it's going to be close. Coming to 2 laps to go. This time by, and the 45's getting larger in the mirror. The gap now coming down to below 8/10 of a second in this compelling race now in a tire difference race. Who is going to be the winning strategy? 6/10 between myself and the 45 with a lap and a half to go, as we've got cars actually coming back into the pits now that pitted even after me, that think that they can't make it to the end as we exit turn 4 down the front straightaway one more time. Is that Christopher Bell in the pits? I believe it is. 1 lap to go. 6/10 of a second. 1 lap of fuel. Will we make it to the end now as the 45 gets closer and closer? We're starting to slip and slide around this track, having to lift as we exit turn 2, but we've got the gap and we got the pace. Here comes the 45, but I don't think he has enough. Fuel is low as we head down into turns 3 and 4 for the final time, and off turn 4. Can you believe it? What a race, what a finish. We hang on after scraping the wall, and we take victory in Darlington. That was awesome. What a race, what a finish. That was compelling, and we get the most mediocre win celebration ever, but awesome stuff to finally get that second win following our Daytona 500 win in the season opener. And I mean, I really wanted that one, especially at Darlington. Such a fun racetrack to drive, and just such a fun race that was in general. That was awesome. And we will be going to Bristol in the next episode. I don't have the points to show because I actually showed the points after Bristol, so that's where we will start showing it, and we should be back to 2 races in the next episode. I believe it's Bristol and Talladega, so it's going to be quite a spicy one. That was a fun race. Honestly, I took a much-needed break, and I had so much fun coming back and doing that race, and I'm hopeful that we can kind of, continue on in this final season of this career mode and can keep on just having fun, because I had a lot of fun right there. That does it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.